Howdy folks, so I am going to walk you through my house and the catastrophe that the person working on it has turned it into. Now I know that I know when there's projects, I'm not talking about just kind of the mess, I'm talking about the mistakes and errors, which is synonymous, that he has made, that he doesn't know what he's doing, and the additional time and money that he would potentially try to charge me for, and things that I would not, when all was said and done, if he didn't take care of it, he would be taking care of it before I would pay. So I'm actually at a point now that I'm going to pull the project. So, I've never done that before. I don't know about the legalities of it. I think Daniel would have to fight me on it, and I don't know why he would. There's two Daniels. So there's Daniel, the tree guy, who's kind of coordinating all this. He did my tree, and then I was asking him if he knew some other people, and I think he saw it as an opportunity to coordinate some things, and then he would get a cut, which is fine. You want to coordinate that for me? I'll let you get a cut. I see absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. So he did. He coordinated the roof guy, Cesar, who seemed to do good work. He and his wife finished it up the other evening. He doesn't speak English and I don't speak Spanish. Shame on the United States that we don't have that bilingual. Everybody in the United States should speak Spanish and English. I'm just saying. But anyway, but he wanted her to make sure that I knew that pile of stuff out there, that they were going to remove it. He put everything tidy in a nice pile over there, and he wanted to know. He and his wife were working here, and they had 2 kids along, and I was just kind of like, ooh, but they were very well behaved, and and then I chalked it up as 2 parents working together, and the children seeing that this is what a family does. So anyway, not the best experience with the tree removal. I think if Daniel, the tree guy, was able to control everybody that was helping him, now I bounce, it would be different. But he wasn't able to control them, and they were kind of going rogue in some ways. So I have a damaged fence. There was hose over there. They wanted to move the hose. Okay, that's fine. So coil up the hose and put it in the corner where the hose goes. No, they threw it all in a flower bed, and then to take some of, supposedly they took the internet line down so they wouldn't break it, but they had already broken it. So they took a line down and it wasn't. But anyway, so they had a step in the flower bed to do that. Well, it's not like they chose one spot to step in it. There's a whole, 3-foot round section where they trampled all the flowers there. It's kind of like, okay, some of that comes with the territory, I get it, but not that much. When I was talking to Daniel at the very end, there was another one that was helping, and as he was rolling a log, he was going to roll it right over one of the bushes out there. And I said, Daniel, stop him. I said, I'd like to salvage something, and I said it, I'd like to salvage something. Kind of saying, you guys have pretty much tore up my yard. And so on the side yard, I'm not going to go outside, but on the side yard there was borders that kept in, because it's kind of it's like a wild garden. It's not like I don't go out there and weed it and stuff like that. But I do have borders. I have a rock area that I keep weeded, and I do have some wood borders that kind of keep some of the plants in the greenery in. Those sides are broken down. All the Robert painstakingly last summer went around with all those little kind of brick-like molding type things. They're kind of, some of them are scalped, so to speak, if that's the right word, and realigned all those so they all looked really nice in preparation for putting, just because that was something he did. So he did that, and then in the patio he put plastic trim along the patio. So, you push, it's not trim, I don't know what, I'm trying to think, border, like a plastic border, which they drove their truck on. So, you know, it's just, anyway, so the tree was done, a window was broken. Daniel was like, full disclosure, the window's broken. I'll have the painter guy, because the painter's guy's name's Daniel too, so I'm going to call him painter guy. I'll have the painter guy fix the window when he does the inside. Great. You know, I know somebody, he can help you. Tell him everything you need. We'll give you, we'll give you an estimate. So I took Painter Man through the house. I pointed out everything. And he was just like, okay, yeah, well, we'll need this. What did it? 1, 2, 3, 3 sheets of sheetrock, you know, and he's counting and tabulating all this stuff up in his head. And, you know, and Daniel comes with it sends me a message on my phone of the estimate is $600 for materials and $1,000 for labor. And I was like, wow, okay. The labor part I was okay with because, I mean, there's a lot of work that was going to be done, so I was fine with the labor part. But the materials, I was like, that's a lot. 3 sheets of plywood, not plywood, 3 sheets of sheetrock, some tape and mud. I mean, but this is a pretty decent project, so, you know. But anyway, so, and I even told Robert about it, and so we started last night, we were talking a little bit, I gotta get a sip here, about it. And so I started kind of going around to the different things that were here, and he was on his end of the line looking things up on Home Depot, because I said that's where he got it. There's Home Depot bags. I'm sure most of everything he got is at Home Depot. So Robert was looking it up, and I don't know what we got to, maybe up to 300, if that, of what I could see. So I can't see, okay, so there's like, Robert says, there's like a 10% handling fee. So you get the materials and then you charge 10% on top of that for just having to go to the store and get them, because that's not part of their labor costs. So having to go to the store and get them and things like that, they usually charge a 10% markup for that. So, totally overly priced on the materials. Totally overly, way more materials than is needed. So, but I thought, you know, okay, at the beginning of all this, I'm like, you know, okay, if he comes in here, he does everything that I asked him to do, and it looks great, and I can finish painting, because he said well, I'm only doing 1 coat, which is not what the original agreement was, but, I mean, the original agreement wasn't how many coats, the original agreement was that it would be painted. So in my mind, that's painting the number of coats that you would need to have on there for it to look right. But anyway, I bought the paint. So I went to the store and bought $400 worth of paint, which is not really a ton of paint right now. I'll probably need more, but I wanted to start with that, especially the custom paint. You don't want to mix more paint than you're going to need. Anyway, so he's been working on it, and the painter man has been working on it, and he started last weekend and brought somebody he knew, I think it was his cousin, John, and they started prepping stuff. And you know, I wasn't kind of really questioning what they were doing, because they're like, oh, they're getting ready, that, you know, it's something that he needs to do for whatever he's going to do. I was kind of it was a little odd, some of the way they were taping, not tape mud, but using painter's tape on things. And I was like, that's odd. But, you know, I'm like, well, you know, let's see what happens. Maybe he has a reason for that. Let's see what happens. Maybe he puts it on so that whatever it might possibly be why he was doing it. So anyway, now here it is a week later, and he's done some things, and he's done some things that look really good. And then he's done some things that are truly indicative that he doesn't fully know what he's doing. It looks like he is very disjointed in the order of things that he's doing, and he's being destructive. Why do I say he's being destructive? Well, you'll be able to see as we go along the way. And sometimes in projects things happen. They just happen. They just do. I get it. They just do. But we're going to start out in the butler's pantry. So in the butler's pantry, well, you know, let's just start here. He put paper down here to protect the floor. But out here apparently, and he saw this room. This room was, I mean, this is actually a very clean functioning room for me. I have my wine glasses in here. I had a cabinet here with, in this section here, I had a cabinet with dishes and things in there. So this is an extension of the kitchen. So he could see that when I originally showed him. These blinds were down. I had curtains over here, so there was nice decorative curtain rods up there and curtains down. So this very much is a clean space. This isn't a junky space. So anyway, so this was one of the things that was damaged from water damage. So he took that down. It's kind of interesting to see where some of the old part of the house was. Like, wow. Like, that wood's just barely across there. I don't know if it's really holding anything up. But those were looks like probably the old eaves of the house. And then this was extended out. It's kind of cool to see. But anyway, so he took that down. And then this isn't part of it. This is not part of him doing it. We did not discuss, nor does he have any paneling here or anything, that he was going to fix that. That was not part of it. Okay, things happen. So you know what you say? You do full disclosure. I told him I was going to paint out here, so he didn't need to paint. So, you know, full disclosure. Okay, he can go get it. He can figure out a piece of paneling and go get it and put it up there because I'm going to paint anyway. I don't know where the trim is. I have no idea where the trim is. There's a chunk of it, and that's the thing. There's a chunk of it here. So he basically ripped the trim off. I have no idea where it is. It will have to be replaced. See what I'm saying? So here's where you know what? Things happen. Things happen. You know what you do when I'm here? Then you tell me, okay, well, you know, this happened, so we'll have to, you know, but you're not charging me for that because you didn't know how to turn it off. So he actually made a cut here. So there's a cut in the ceiling, there's a cut in the wall. Because he bought an oscillating tool. And that better not be on my dime. Well, if it is, I have a new oscillating tool. Anyway, so he took this room and created chaos, which, you know, I get it. It's things, dirt happen, but like, as I'm picking up on different things, he's not a gentle person. He doesn't really, you know, anyway. So, you know, let's put paper down. I'm going to put paper all over. I'm going to make sure the floor is protected, you know, great, except for where it's not. So it rips, you know, I don't know what's going on there. There's all this here. It's like, okay, you're doing all this, but then why don't you just actually really protect it? So, you know, paper down, like he did the whole kitchen floor. Awesome, perfect, great, protecting the floor. Until it didn't. Until something was ripped, and instead of fixing it, he just left it. Here's another spot. Instead of just, oh, it ripped, you know, and then putting and seeing that, because you know when your foot gets caught, and you know when you're ripping paper, and just putting tape down for that, nope, left it. Left it. So stepping on that. So I don't know what that's going to look like when that's cleaned up. Because when you step on gritty stuff, it affects the integrity of the surface. So, I know this is going to be a long video because there's a lot to document. So back here, so when he first came in, he had somebody come in with him. And the guy was just like mad. He was mad with the painter's tape. He was just taping and taping and taping and taping. And now, I'm not sure, I wasn't sure why he was doing what he was doing and why he was taping it the way he was taping it. But I thought, oh geez, here's another. Why he was doing it and why he was taping it the way he was taping it. But I thought, you know, I'm gonna take it. I'm not quite sure why this is just all tape. I suppose just of a space that was just thought we put tape. Anyway, so I'm not sure why he was taping it the way he was taping it. Because do you see how he's taped it? Okay. Do you see? They're not painting the trim. In here, do you see? He has it taped as if the trim's going to be painted. They're painting the walls. It's the walls that were going to be painted, not the trim. And when I first saw him doing it, I was just like, I don't know, maybe he's going to hang plastic here or something and he's going to tape it on the tape. You know what I mean? It's like, why would I at first go, why are you doing that? It's just like here too. Well, they are working on the ceiling, so that makes sense. They're working on the ceiling. He was supposed to texture this area. He was going to texture the entire ceiling. He didn't. So this pantry area should have been covered in plastic. Okay, so do you see that it's kind of peeling here and peeling here? I've been trying to just be very gentle with this. Don't mess with it because I don't want to have to paint it. Well, he has all kinds of overspray. And I mean, look at, there's mud there. It's like he wiped his finger there. So there's all this mud here. Oh, maybe there's a spot that he stapled to or something that he's filling up. But anyway, this wasn't there before. That's all him putting mud there. Maybe he's just like, oh, since I'm here, I'll do it. But he didn't sand it then. So here it is. Is that something that he intended on taking care of? So if you sand that, then you have to paint it, right? Yeah, if you sand it, you have to paint it. He's not painting this. He's not painting this. He's got all kinds of overspray all along here. Overspray on this trim work, which he's not painting. All that. So that's all going to have to be cleaned off. Now, he did some cracks up there. He repaired those. Pretty heavily mudded, but that's okay. Now here's a problem. So he mudded and textured over the tape. See the tape there? Okay. Now when you peel the tape, there is going to be a line of demarcation. Same thing on the top. When you peel the tape, all along here, all this texturing that you see on the tape, when you peel the tape, there's going to be a line right across there that's smooth just like this. I mean, there's a little bit of texturing here, but not, I mean, he just and I don't know what all this texturing here is for. There's no reason to texture this here. This is all overspray because he replaced, you can see the line here, and there it is. It's like, he's done texturing. He told me he was done texturing, and I'll show you areas later. But, there's all the overspray on the vent. So there's all this here. There's no reason to texture this. None. And then you can see there's still a piece of the fiber tape or whatever it's called. Anyway, so do you see? There's a piece of tape all along this. There's a piece of tape there. That tape's going to have to come off. And when that tape comes off, there's going to be a complete line of demarcation there. He doesn't know what he's doing. So let's look at this. So, okay, he put this up here, great. See the gaps? Like there's major gaps in there that are going to have to be filled, okay? These gaps are going to have to be filled. There's a defect there that I just saw that I didn't notice before. Anyway, so those gaps need to be filled. So you would fill those gaps, you would take care of all that before you textured anything. You just would do that. I know. I've done projects. I know that, you have to do all your finish work first. Now this makes sense. This is taped here. But you see black. So they didn't really tape it that well because you see black between the tape and the ceiling. That means that there's going to be white on the walls. Even if it's just a little bit, it's still going to look sloppy. Okay, so then out here, he missed a crack here that I pointed out. Believe me, we walked through everything. And I pointed every single thing out. He missed repairing that one. On these things right here for the curtain rods, I just left them because they have ways of doing things and I didn't know which way he wanted to do it, whether he's just going to tape them off or he's going to remove them. He told me, yeah, I'll remove them and I'll stick them in a baggie for you. Basically tell me that, yeah, I'll stick them in a baggie for you so that you can put them back. Basically saying that I'm the one that's going to put them back up. Again, what is he taping for? He is not doing the trim. He's not painting trim in here. He's not. I told him I would paint out here. Because this is a small room, I'm just like, you know what, I'll do this. Okay. See this room in here? It's just, you can see, it's just full of dust. And you know what? Things happen with projects, I get that. But here's what the problem is. He should have taped this. He should have put plastic over this and sealed this. He should have hard sealed this. He could have taken plastic. This tape stuff sticks very well to this smooth painted trim. He could have done sealed this off here. So he could have gone right here, along here, up here, over, and then he would have done it on the bottom here, and then brought it down to here, down this edge here, and then across the floor, and then up and across. That would have sealed this room off so much. Because and he said he was going to seal it off. He's like, I'll seal it off really good, you know. So had I known, look at the cobwebs in my bike tire. I don't know if you can see it on here. That's funny. Jessica, you better get on your trainer. So, that's hilarious. So had I known he wasn't going to seal it properly, I would have put plastic over, especially the motor part of my treadmill. Actually, I would have put it over my whole treadmill, I think, just to keep the dust out of there. Now I'm going to have to, here's project number 1. I'm going to have to take that cap part of the treadmill off and vacuum out the motor part because that dust just really isn't good on the motor. And I'll have to try to clean this up. This doesn't have a motor, but yeah. Anyway, so we have that going, okay? So now I really want to document this. So now, like I said, so now this is going to have to be cleaned off. There's a chip knocked off of here, so I'm going to have to try to gingerly, I still don't want to have to end up painting this whole thing. I just don't. Try to, take that other chip off. There's one next to it. And I know they did it because there's a chip of paint on the floor. Had he covered this with plastic, that wouldn't have happened. There wouldn't be all kinds of overspray on it. Now there's overspray here, so there's going to have to be friction. I can feel the overspray all the way down on the handle till about here. Otherwise, there's all overspray on that. So that means I don't want to touch it. You know what I mean? It's just he should have draped that off. Okay. That's just okay. So then he covered up the microwave and that stuff up there. Okay, cool. Good job. Good job, painter man. Good job. But you know what he did? He attached it with staples. Okay, remember, he's not painting this. He's not painting this. So he attached it with staples, and I'm not even removing the staples right now. But this staple was put into he tried to put that staple into my microwave. See? It's exactly matched to where he tried to put it. So he tried to put that staple into my microwave. There's going to be holes where these are. There's going to be holes. And you're going to be able to see them. They're right at eye level. I don't know what's in, it's just. So there's going to be all these staple holes everywhere. I'll see how bad they look when all is said and done. I can push a little, not putty, but I can push a little spackling or whatever you want to call it in there. But, this has stuff on it. Why didn't he cover that? I mean, he should have just did one plastic sheet, taped it. And a lot of times they'll actually do it if it's appliances that the homeowner might need. They would tape top, side, and then have it go long on the bottom. Like in this case, just to the floor. And then they put a flap over here, like I did this. They put a flap over here where you can kind of take it over and use what you need to use, and then you can put it back. Because I did this, because, well, he stapled it, and I took the staple out. So that staple right there are these holes right there. See? So, I didn't intend on painting the whole kitchen. This, he didn't cover. So this had all kinds of crap on it. It wasn't horrible, but there was overspray on it. Actually, I still see some back here. But there was overspray on it that I had to clean off because I needed to cook this weekend. There's no pilot on these. They're done by, you can tell they're done by spark light. So there's no pilot. Nothing's going to start on fire. He should have covered that. He should have put paper over it or plastic. He should have, if he was going to use this surface for anything, he should have put paper on it. All this here, his workbench, Okay, he should have put paper down first. If he's going to use that surface, he should put paper down first. See this here? There's a chip out of there. That's from him, and you can see kind of the scratch here and then the chip. So something landed there. If he would have had paper down, I can't say that whatever landed there or how that happened, that it wouldn't have happened, but more than likely it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have happened. And then of course he had all kinds of stuff on here. But I don't know what he put down on this because this is very porous. And I know because I keep on it, but there's a stain here and there's another stain here and it actually looks like a drink. But I'll have to start working on that with bleach wipes because you can't just, it's like it gets into the counter and then you do a little bit of bleach wipes and they'll fade it a little bit. And then, but it's like you can't remove it at one sitting, so to speak. So it's like it has to work its way to the surface or something, the stain does. So, here's mud, there's whatever the dirt is up there on that. There's all that stuff up there. There's the mud here. Now this I'll be able to wipe off, but here's the whole point. So actually I cleaned this off because there was mud here. But there's mud here on this counter. I don't know what's underneath all this, and I'm not moving it to see until I have what I call the main contractor guy come. Okay, so what started this all out, Thursday I came home, and I came in, and the house felt very cold, because I do my AC at 80, and so it's just like, okay, they went ahead and turned it down while I was gone. That's fine. That's fine because I want them to be comfortable here, and I'll pay that. It's okay. But it was cranked down to 72 degrees, and then he turned the fan on too. So the fan kept going and circulating air. And then, I get it. I get why it does that, and it kind of helps cool things if you just continue to circulate that air. But the problem is it takes air up, puts it up in the hot attic, and then recirculates it through. So it's not recirculating just like in your, anyway. All the lights were on. So this light was on. He had that double light there plugged in. That was on. There was a fan that was standing here that's out there. Here's the front of it. That was on. This light over here was on. That one plugged in was on. All these lights were on. And then out here, the hallway light was on out here and the bathroom light was on. So that all that stuff was left on. Now I got home about 5:30 in the afternoon. And I thought, oh, he ran to go do something or whatever, and he'll be back shortly. At 7:30, and actually I did turn lights off and unplug lights. I did. I left the air conditioner on though, because it was just like if he's coming back and he's working, I want him to be comfortable. But I did turn lights off and unplug lights because I was just like, I can. I'm not. So 2 hours later, I realized he's not coming back. So then I turned the air down and I shut other things down and all that. So, and then I started looking at things and it's just like, here again. Oh, I didn't show you over here. So here's a crack that he fixed. Yay. But look he put the paper there and you can see where the paper's, there's going to be a line of demarcation there. It's like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And then he put paper here to protect that. Okay. Good idea. Good idea. Good on ya. Okay. And they did have, well, he didn't at the beginning because you can see overspray on the fridge, but at one point there was a loose piece of plastic over the top of it, which I removed because I needed to get in the fridge. Then we get in here. Oh, this video's like at 29 minutes now, but okay, all this texturing and white on the wall, there's no reason for it. There's no reason for any of that to be there. None. And we talked about it, and the whole thing was that more than likely some of the areas, if the paint matches really well, and it does, it matches really well because it's the same color, that I would probably only have to do one coat on the walls, that there's no work being done on it. So this wall right here would only have needed one coat. Now it's gonna probably need two, if not more. I don't know how absorbent this stuff is and how well it covers. So, you know, he did that, you know, smart. He put that down for overspray. Good job. He did stuff over here. You know, there's a cracky fix there, but then, you know, there's a defect there. So how are we gonna, you know, that's gonna have to be filled in, and there's gonna have to be some reworking done there. Put that there to cover for overspray. Good job. And then until he didn't. This is all this trim has overspray on it. Then we had a crack here. Do you see? It's not fixed. And it's not fixed, okay? It's not. Put this here. There's a line there that had, you could really see, and so I had them tape it and mud it and do all that. Looks good, looks good. There's another one here, you can kind of still see it, but it looks better. I'm not mad about that. So then he put this here for overspray so that wouldn't get on the fireplace. Great, you know, well, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I haven't tried cleaning it up yet, so. Okay, that's great. You know, it's okay, we're doing things, you know. We've got this going over here, paper here. But then again, staple to this. Okay, staple to the wall. Staple to this, staple to that. So now these are all holes from the stapler, staple to that. These are all holes from the stapler. They're gonna have to be repaired. Okay? Now this kind of made sense. They actually did some normal taping. They taped off the trim, and then they're gonna do the walls first and then do the trim. Huh. Okay, this is we're talking still about sealing this room off. So there's a little bit of tape up there, there's a little bit of tape there. You can see that one through the plastic. And then this was this kind of, and this actually hangs to about right here. That's not sealing off a room. And then this window here is open. There's no glass in it, you can see. That should have been completely sealed. So this room here should have been pretty much sealed up. There shouldn't have been a lot of stuff going on here. I think I'm losing battery. But you could see where he stepped through here. You can see down there where he stepped through here. But anyway, I'm gonna have to do another part of this video because my phone's going dead. But I want to annotate this, and I want to have documentation of it. So I'll charge my phone a little bit, and I will finish this journey.